Welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Live podcast. That's right. We're going live tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The podcast where if the jokes weren't funny, we probably left them in anyway because we laughed at them.
I believe we've already used that line, Tim.
I don't care. It's live. I was grabbing from the seat of my pants and my pants were grabbed.
And even if we've already used that line, it was funny then and it's funny now.
It wasn't, Kathleen
like
wasn't
that.
there for that one, so.
If she watched the podcast.
Oh, right. I'm supposed to watch the podcast too?
Look, if you want to get technical about this, it's going to be a long afternoon, evening, whatever it is. Whatever time zone our people are in, it's going to be difficult. All right. Well, again, welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Live podcast. So as you guys may have noticed, we have a different couple of faces here. Now, Nick's been in for quite a few shows. He's the smiling, much mustachioed person in the top corner there.
I thought you couldn't see it.
I said he.
I know.
He's the one who scares small children at 30 paces with the large caterpillar above his lip.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick has been taking on co-hosting duties for quite a little while now, but he also does all our editing and a lot of stuff behind the scenes. But the new face is the wonderful Miss Kathleen. She's right there. So Kathleen, most people do a meet and greet. We're going to do what we called a moot and Groot because, Groot, sci-fi, Guardians of the Galaxy, things like that. So why don't you give the folks at home playing the home version of the Funny Science Fiction podcast, give them an update as to who Kathleen is.
All right. So I'm Kathleen. That's the short version of the update.
All right. And done. Next topic. Okay.
Thanks, Tim. So nice. So I am a nerd at heart, but also a stay-at-home mom who decided that hanging out with these weirdos that I've known for a while anyway, doing it online is kind of fun. And it gets me away from my toddler and my husband until he follows me into the comments section. Hi, John.
He's stalking.
It's like he likes me or something.
Woo!
No, so I grew up watching like any Star Trek that was on. Deep Space Nine was a big thing in my house growing up. Doctor Who, Star Wars, everything. Fantastic Doctor Who shirt.
Oh, well, if we're showing shirts. Hold on, I gotta stand up for this. It's my Han Solo shirt with the Van Halen logo. Han Solo.
Fantastic. Mine is not exciting tonight, sorry.
Available at rivercitytees.com. Anyway.
Shameless plug!
Shameless plug.
So,
John, stop flirting with your wife. Goodness.
But he's kind of cute.
Well, I guess there's that.
He is. So, I feel like I'm a well-rounded nerd. Like, there's not one thing that I'm like specifically, this is the thing that I like. There are things I like and they're all over the place. And it's fun.
Okay. So let's go real quick, just off the top of my head. This was not in the notes, and nobody is prepared for this. Top 3 sci-fi movies.
Oh no.
We're going to make Nick answer it too, so don't worry.
Oh.
And all the color just went out of Nick's face.
So, okay.
Nobody told me I had to talk.
Man, this is hard.
Oh, that's the way it's supposed to be.
It is. I would have to go. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to go through a curveball. Muppets from Space.
Okay.
Episode 6. Episode 6 is definitely in my top 3. Muppets from Space isn't really. I just wanted to get to mention Gonzo being an alien.
Fair enough. Okay.
No, probably. Episode 6 would definitely be my favorite, but I have a super soft spot for Ewoks. I'm actually going to put Rogue One in there tonight. This is strange for me.
Solid choice, in my opinion.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right, cool. Nick?
I would say I just had it. What was it?
It's not just me.
I got the brain pain, Mama.
The original Planet of the Apes.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I was introduced the one where it ended with him seeing that it was actually in the future. And the Statue of Liberty. I know they made like 7 of them.
1,200 of them things, yeah, before 1980s, yeah.
Yeah.
And every one of them, Charlton Heston, damn dirty apes. Anyway, sorry.
So yeah, that one was I think was a good one. There's just so many good ones. I really enjoy Planet 51.
The cartoon, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it
good.
is a
It's
science
a better.
fiction trope to all the science fiction tropes.
I think it's a better movie than a lot of people gave it credit for, or that it was recognized or received as, for sure.
Right, because a human landing on an alien planet as the alien of the horror films. I think it's hilarious. And then the other one I think I would go with would be I would say Muppets in Space, just because it is hilarious.
It is a really good movie.
It's probably one of my favorite Muppet ones.
I may stab you both, but okay. All right.
Are you anti-Muppet, Tim?
No, I'm not anti-Muppet. I just don't believe that Muppets are science fiction. Anyway,
I was going to question if you were anti-Muppet because you actually looked like one and people picked on you about it.
Would Dark Crystal be considered science fiction?
I think close enough. I think it's more fantasy, but it has some sci-fi tropes to it. So I'd say, yeah, we could call it.
Then I'm going to go with the Netflix series of the Dark Crystal.
All right, fair enough. All right, so my top 3. Anybody have any guesses?
Star Wars.
4, 5, and 6.
Well, not all of them. Okay, but all of them. But there's one that stands out above the rest.
I feel like 5.
Yes, very good. Empire Strikes Back. That's my all-time favorite movie. I think it's the best made of all the Star Wars movies. Although I really do enjoy Rogue One, and that's why I was so pleased that Kathleen picked it. That's such a good show.
Okay, so you can't pick Star Wars. You have to pick.
I'm only picking one Star Wars. I have to be allowed to pick one. I'm not just gonna go, well, I like Star Wars 4 and 5. That was the bestest, and so okay. Let's see. Probably after that, Fifth Element. I absolutely love Fifth Element. I am
Ruby Red.
That's right. Super green. And let's see. For the third one, this is I had all this time to think, and you'd think that I would have had all my answers. Like
I was going to say, you're the one who came up with the question.
I know, right? And that means that I should have everything kind of sorted and figured out as to how I would want that.
But we've met you, so we understand.
Well, there is that.
I bet it's the 90s cartoon, The Mighty Ducks.
How is that sci-fi?
It's not.
It is. They're from space. They're space ducks.
Oh, the cartoon version of the Space Ducks. Yeah, okay.
I might need to change mine to Space Jam.
But no. Ooh, Space Jam would actually be a really good choice. But no, I'd say probably my next one, honestly, is going to lean more into superhero world, and it would probably be Endgame. I really like that movie. It's long as long could be, but I think it's worth the watch. Even now, it's one of those things where I'll get into a superhero binge, and I will watch every one of those episodes over and over and over again. And I have no problem going through the entire MCU. And John agrees the ducks were aliens because they were hockey playing alien ducks. I think he thinks that should be higher up on my list, but John, it won't be. You can't make me fall for it.
Not tonight, anyway.
Not tonight. There hasn't been enough Guinness, but we can talk later. Guinness.
I love Guinness.
By the way, Guinness, we are accepting sponsorships. Just throwing that out there.
If anybody from Guinness is actually paying attention to us.
Yes, please. Okay. All right. So that's Kathleen. That's Nick. That's our top 3. Anything you guys want to add to any of that? Any revisions? Any thoughts? Comments, concerns, questionnaires, polls?
We should ask our audience what their top 3s are.
Well, Lefroy. John wants to know if I would be interested in some Lefroy. And yes, I would be interested in Lefroy. Because,
John, no.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't transmit through the screen very well. But I will believe that it's there, and I will be mostly and completely jealous of the Lefroy. So anybody who's watching, what is your top sci-fi movie? What's the one that does it for you? What's your go-to in the sci-fi world? So we'll give you guys a minute or two to kind of answer that. We'll circle back if we get some comments from someone other than John. But John can play too.
I've seen one comment from Shayna, so at least we have 2 supportive spouses.
That's right. There was a comment in there from my wife. Hey, baby.
Stop making it weird.
Hey, she's the only one I get to flirt with. She gets all of it. That's the way it works. So
look at what you get, Shayna.
All right, John. See, I knew I liked John. He agrees with me. I like this guy. You should keep him.
Hey, a person who's not one of our spouses. Yay!
All right. Hey, Bill. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. Well, that's a good call. I haven't seen that movie in, probably a good 15 to 20 years. That's probably one that I need to revisit really very soon. That's got some classic actors in it. I believe that's the one with Donald Sutherland in it, isn't it? I want to say it is. Maybe Bill can update us in the if he's watching, but I believe that's the one with Donald Sutherland kind of comes out of in the parking lot, kind of yelling and waving his hands and such. It's kind of it's a thing.
On the trope of 1970s sci-fis, I actually came across a post in another group today about how Logan's Run was the end all of the Tim, your camera's off. Was the end all of the sci-fi run. Like it kind of, here's a sci-fi movie, and that's when sci-fi movies kind of dropped off a little bit.
Yeah, right over there, Tim.
Yeah, well, I realized that I didn't have my backing light on. I'm like, why is my picture so dark? And then I'm like, oh yeah, backing light. So
that might be important.
It might be, only if I want people to be able to see me.
Do you want people to be able to see you? Oh, your camera did a cute little focus thing even. That was sweet. Oh, look at it do it. It's fun. Sorry.
The camera loves me. What can I say? All right, so yeah, Tammy says that yes, that was the one with Donald Sutherland in it. That was the one I was thinking of, so that's awesome.
So Tammy, what's your favorite sci-fi movie?
Anyone else remember Zardoz? Oh, Sean Connery. I've tried to forget that, John. Thank you very much. And John,
I know that one.
John now has a 10-minute banning. Very carefully, if you ever choose to, Google search Zardoz. You will see Sean Connery in far less clothing than you're ever going to want to see him in.
Googles. Wait, what?
All right, let's see. Bill says that had Sutherland, Jeff Goldblum, Leonard Nimoy, Brooke Adams. Yeah, that had a very stacked cast. That's
wowzer.
Yeah.
Yes, the Blob.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. The Blob.
Do not screen share.
That's right. Tammy, is that the 1950s version of the Blob, or I think that was the only one, isn't there? Or was there a 70s version? I can't remember if there was a 70s version. I think there's only a 50s version of that. It was like one of the drive-in horror movies. People.
Oh, there's a remake in '88.
Oh, was there? Okay.
Sorry about what's happening to your Google search over here, John.
Bill, you are absolutely right. Zardoz has Connery in a diaper. It's a red diaper, and
way more of Connery than. Ugh.
It's a hairy diaper. Let's just put it that way. It's impressively scary.
It's also very Mankini-ish.
Yeah. No, no.
Not in a good way. Not that I don't think there is a good way to have a Mankini.
So, hold on a second here. We're gonna help everybody to make sure that they know that we know. Well, if I'm looking at it, you're looking at it. That's just the way it is. So, where'd it go? There we go. That's the one we want. Yeah, baby.
Gah.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's that.
You know, I'm not
my
sure
friends.
which part of that is the most repulsive, though. If it's the mankini or the ponytail.
I thought it was the stretchy suspenders.
Michael Corey says that there is, and by the way, guys, if you're not familiar with who Michael Corey is, Mike has a really cool channel on TikTok. We just interviewed him recently here on Funny Science Fiction, and it's called Props to History. If you're on TikTok, check him out there. He also has a podcast and a YouTube channel. Mike's a really cool dude. You guys would like him quite a bit. But yeah, Tammy says there must be the 1988 remake because she's not that old. And John, I'm violating his banning, but he gets to come back in on the no comment. All right, cool guys. So is there any other movies that our audience found to be some of their favorite in the sci-fi realm? I mean, because I'm full on ready to talk about, Fifth Element. I love Fifth Element. I love the comedy of it. I love the over exaggerated sci-fi tropes that are in that movie. I love Chris Tucker in that movie. It's amazing to me how divisive Chris Tucker is in that movie, by the way. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that. If you get it into any see, there you go, Mike. I'm about the Fifth Element. There you go.
Bye,
it's a great show. Have fun, guys. All right, Tammy, thank you for stopping by. I hope you stick around a little while longer. Be sure to check us out on YouTube and give us a subscribe there.
So I have to admit, I've actually never seen Fifth Element.
We are stopping this and
there we go. And
party.
We used to have a co-host named Kathleen.
Sad. It's on my list. I just apparently I've never seen it.
I will send you a digital code tonight if you don't have it because
I don't. So
I can make that happen.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that I can watch over and over and over again. It's got the right amount of humor. It's got the right amount of action. It's one of those silly little sci-fi movies that's just got enough of everything for it to be just ridiculously good. And that's my opinion anyway. So, all right. So should we actually go to the topics that we had kind of planned on, or do you want to keep talking about these?
We can go to our topics.
What children's programming, John?
Do you guys watch Peppa Pig?
No, Peppa is banned in our house.
I like you guys more and more every day. Okay.
Peppa, Barney, Caillou, Teletubbies are all banned.
Teletubbies are just low key, Lord of the Rings. So seriously, look it up. It's a
really
thing. It's
the current obsession.
Low key LSD Lord of the Rings, but it's
the current obsession in our house from the tiny person is Blippi.
I have no idea what that is, and I'm glad to say that I don't.
Oh my gosh, it's have fun with Coco Melon, John.
You gotta wait for me to get the comment up on the screen.
Working on it.
People can't see it. They don't know what we're talking about. You're just talking to thin air. That's okay.
Like every day over.
I also have no idea who Coco Melon is too, and why that's a thing.
You should have her watch Clone Wars. I mean, it's a cartoon.
Oh, especially because the Tarkovsky's version is coming to Disney Plus. So yeah, I saw what you're laughing at.
Take her back to the Cartoon Network days.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is the struggle, though, like Shayna said, because you guys are getting older. It's really because your youngest is 14. You're not exposed to this
rude
ridiculousness. Hey, that child of yours said I was 30-something today, and I'm still being friends with you guys. So,
boom. Suck it, Trebek. All right.
28!
See, John's got her on season 3 of Rebels, so it can't be that bad.
No. And
just don't let her watch season 4, because season 4 is going to get sad real quick.
Thank you, Shayna. I love you too.
You know what? We survived childhood trauma from TV shows. I think she can too.
Not the mama.
We're also in season 2 of that.
Oh, you guys are watching Dinosaurs?
Yes.
Nice.
She loves it.
That's a great show. It's all the animatronic silliness that you can handle.
And it's so funny. Is like she'll say that she wants to watch dinosaurs. And we're like, okay, which dinosaurs? Do you want? Because she's watched Camp Cretaceous on Netflix like 4 times.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so it's which dinosaurs? And she'll either say not the mama or Bumpy. So
you're darn right she did. I also taught that girl all about sci-fi. You're welcome. Making our kids awesome one at a time.
You guys are pretty cool kids, Tim.
Well, we tried.
So what do you guys think of the WandaVision now that has been wrapped up?
Yeah, let's revisit that. Let's talk WandaVision, especially since I put that in the notes and said we were going to talk about it at some point in this show. No, I put that on the notes on the internet for people to see what we were talking about on this episode. So I'm supposing that at some point we should probably talk about it.
Is it bad if I say that after watching it and getting through the whole storyline, then I was slightly disappointed?
No. I have some disappointments in it as well. But the problem is with the disappointments. Yes, John. And I'm the one talking to Yes, John, there are notes. See? There's notes. So
they're not even written in crayon this time.
No. They're written in Sharpie, by golly.
Ooh, those are some serious plans.
That's right. Well, that was the first thing I found. Let's see. But the problem with WandaVision is not that I was disappointed in the show. The problem with WandaVision is that I was disappointed that my theories aren't the ones that they went with.
Right? Yeah.
Because I had all these great ideas of what the show was going to be, where it was going to go, how it was going to end up. I still think some of those things are possible. I still think that WandaVision is a great introduction for bringing the X-Men into the MCU because of when Wanda expanded the town's borders and it changed with Rambo's or Rambo or however you say her name, her genetic structure changed twice because of going through that force field. So it mutated her cells. So there you go. You have a way to explain mutation, bringing in the X-Men. All these people had latent genes. It activated it and brought them in. So, there's still opportunity for the X-Men to come in and for that to be a thing. It's just that I wanted to see it. Right. I wanted to see Professor X roll up with his bald head and his cool chair and be like, "Ooh," power slide in, Tokyo Drift style. And
I feel like they set us up so many times for there to be that big multiverse reveal, and then they rip it away from us every time. Yeah.
Look what I got for you. Look. Oh, gotta be faster than that.
Like bringing in Quicksilver from X-Men.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know if they're setting it up to do that in a full length instead of in a miniseries. If they're just taunting us.
What I'm wondering is because the Doctor Strange movie, Doctor Strange 2, is the Multiverse of Madness or Into the Multiverse of Madness, something like that, where I believe that they could have been bringing in Quicksilver from one of the multiverses, and that's making he's dead in this universe, but over in this universe he's fair game. So I don't know if that's how they're planning on doing it. I'm kind of thinking at the moment that maybe that's what it is, and some of the guys that I follow on TikTok who are much cooler and smarter than I when it comes to Marvel lore seem to think the same thing as well. So,
and I think too, using Evan Peters like that was kind of a cheap shot at the look. It's Quicksilver, but it's not. It's like
Ha
Stop being
Almost.
mean to us.
Almost.
But also, was it episode 1 or 2 when they talked about the person in witness protection or whatever? That was why they were worried about the city?
I think it was episode 3, wasn't it? Because they had to get out of the. It was once they were out of black and white, so that would have been out of.
Okay. So
that would have been episode 3, maybe 4, but yeah, they had to get out of the black and white series to kind of set up the, Wanda looking back into her past for something peaceful. And I did like how they tied in episode 1 and 2, the black and white series, to the things that she used to watch with her parents, and that the times, the things that were peaceful to her and that were, so it just kind of nicely tied it all in, because if you just watched episode 1 or 2, especially episode 1, you were going to get lost. And I know that episode turned off so many people, and they said, especially on our Funny Science Fiction Facebook group, there was a lot of people that said that they weren't going to watch it anymore because of that episode. And I think that's unfortunate, because there were so many cool things that came after that. They just weren't willing to pay it any attention.
You got to give it a shot.
I personally was a huge fan of the Dick Van Dyke Show, so I was like, this is awesome how closely they actually mimicked that art style.
See, and I would actually watch Paul Bettany pretend to be Dick Van Dyke again. Like, if they did a remake of the Dick Van Dyke Show with Paul Bettany in it, I would watch it. Really?
Yeah.
Like,
yep. And I think too, that's what got my parents more so into watching the show, is because they enjoyed those older TV shows.
Right.
And they were like, oh, that's the Brady Bunch house, or that's this house. And I'm like, wait, which house was that?
Yeah.
But then
go ahead.
I was going to say, in later episodes, I was like, oh, that's the Malcolm in the Middle house, or or they're filming this like The Office. And
yeah, every episode with the introductory song and how it was going was like, especially the one episode, I'm like, this is the Malcolm in the Middle intro. That's what that is. That's exactly what this is. And my dad, one day, who's not a big, superhero fan, and this show would not be anywhere near his court of what he would watch, was like, hey, that's the Brady Bunch house, because he was a huge Brady Bunch fan. And John says, Kathleen, you would just watch anything with Paul Bettany in it.
That's not that's totally accurate. Like, I want to watch A Knight's Tale again because of Paul Bettany and Heath Ledger. But
I hate that movie. By the
seriously?
way.
Speaking of Knight's Tale and Alan Tudyk.
Yes. He was the only thing about that movie that was any good.
How do you hate that movie?
Okay, I hated the fact that they were integrating classic rock songs into that movie, and how the fight scenes, and
that was like the best part.
The soundtrack was the best part of the movie, and that's bad when the soundtrack is the best part of the movie. I don't know. I had a hard time with that. And see, Savannah said that was funny. Hi, Savannah. Nobody likes you.
The connection of Paul to Alan Tudyk and Resident Alien.
I have not seen Resident Alien yet.
I have not watched that show yet. I keep saying
it's on my watch list.
It's on the Syfy channel, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Which also means it's on Peacock.
There you go. I gotta start a Peacock subscription now. Apparently,
they do have a free version, and I'm sorry for that one. That one's my fault.
Yes, it is, because now I have to watch Heroes again, which doesn't hurt my feelings that much, because it's Heroes, and that was a phenomenal show that got so overlooked after the first season. So
yes,
I think season 4 went downhill though.
Babushka. Hi, Savannah.
And I mean, the first seasons 1 and 2 were really, really good. Season 3 was starting to stretch a little toward the end.
There's another.
No, Shayna, you love me.
It's a free sub though. We're okay.
It is. I mean, you can pay for it, but there's the free stuff too. You
can pay, but I won't be paying.
Right. So. Nice try, NBC, but it's not
Savannah.
You can take The Office from me, but you can't take my money.
Actually, I went to Vudu right when Netflix was getting ready to cancel or take, I shouldn't say cancel, when they were getting ready to take off The Office, and they had all 9 seasons of The Office for $29. And I'm like, and done. So now I own it. Can't take it away from me.
And now
it's mine.
Hey,
yes,
Frank.
What's up, Frank? How you doing, buddy?
See, and like, I would totally pay for another streaming subscription service if I wasn't already paying for HBO for Doctor Who.
I'm paying for HBO for a variety of reasons. Not Doctor Who yet. I'm still trying to work my way into that show. And I know that I need to watch it because so many of our fans like it, and so many people that come on the show like it. And I know it's a thing. And I think that the best chance for me to actually get into the show will be David Tennant, because I like David Tennant. I think he's an amazing actor. I thought he was phenomenal in Jessica Jones. So I think he's going to be my gateway drug into Doctor Who.
I would totally still recommend starting with Christopher Eccleston and starting with the Rose episode, the first episode with him, because that does...
It's not a crippling. Is it a crippling addiction when you can quote every word that comes through the show?
When you realize that your relationship is Pam and Jim.
Yes. And exactly right there. That's the reason why I have HBO, John, is because of all the DC animated stuff. There is so much. I started rewatching the 1990s version of Batman, where Kevin Conroy took over as, doing the voice and introducing Mark Hamill as that was the Batman I grew up on. That was my Batman. Kevin Conroy, sir, you are my Batman. And so, yeah, that's where I kind of got into it. That's where I started looking at it. So I was very excited that HBO has all that stuff. Doctor Who. Sorry, guys, I tried. Yeah, she's a fan. My wife actually loves Doctor Who. So she watches it. I walked in. Yeah, I walked in, watched a couple minutes of her. I'm like, this is crazy. And I walked out.
See, and I think that if you...
I'll check it out, Travis.
If you go into it with this is ridiculous British humor, and also when you start with the 9th Doctor, there's already been 40 years of the show.
Right.
That you can kind of relate to its campy cheesiness a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that it has going for it is that, number one, I love British humor. Okay. Number two, I really like David Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that it has going against it is that for a time travel show, it spends an awful lot of time in modern day London.
It really does.
And that's a big downside to me. I'm like, you could go anywhere in the universe, any time in the universe.
And you're
let's go to Piccadilly. It's just...
I don't think you realize how much time is actually spent not in London.
Well,
because all the episodes that keep coming into my mind are not the ones in London.
Right. But it does jump back to London a lot, which they do explain that there is the rift in time and space in Cardiff, and that's where they refuel the TARDIS. And so that makes a little bit of sense that they jump back to that. But yeah, he's got a thing for London.
This is my Doctor Who conversion team. We shall baptize you in the pools of Who.
All right, that's getting recommended to him.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to get a hold of Matt, man, and tell him to try that.
I actually messaged him already with hey, we're live if you want to watch our ridiculousness.
There
I don't know
go.
if it's here, but
well, yeah,
that interview was so much fun.
Yes, it was. Yeah, so we interviewed Matt from TikTok, also known as the Matt Man Show. He does the Church of Star Wars. That episode will be coming out in a few weeks. But that was absolutely ish, weeks, months, whatever.
Whenever Nick gets
I like to say weeks because Nick's going to become an editing guru here. That's what he told me the other day, though. He's going to beast mode it.
I'm not succeeding at the moment, so
less naps, Nick. Less naps.
No sleepy, more worky.
That's right. So, all right. So, is Nellie from The Office just Donna Noble after another mind wipe?
Oh, don't mention the mind wipe. It still hurts.
I don't know what a mind wipe is, but if it's what gave me Nellie in The Office, I don't want it. I don't like Nellie.
So, Catherine Tate is her companion character in Doctor Who is Donna Noble.
Right.
And Donna is fantastic. She's a wonderful character, but terrible bad things happen to her.
See, I like Catherine Tate, the actress. I think she's a phenomenal actress. I think she does a really good job. I would love to get her on here and have a chance to interview her because she's done a lot of, other than Doctor Who and The Office, she's done a lot of cool things. I just didn't like the character of Nellie. But
no,
that's
a terrible character.
She just kind of drove me nuts. But I think that Catherine Tate played her the best that she absolutely could for the character she was given in The Office. I think she did an amazing job with it.
She is my second least favorite character in The Office.
Who's your first least?
Will Ferrell's character.
Wait, Will Ferrell was in The Office?
Oh my gosh.
For like five episodes. When Michael first left and they needed a new boss.
I hate his character so much. Like, will intentionally skip over those episodes.
He didn't quite get that 6th episode in, did he?
No.
What is his name? D'Angelo?
Yeah, they didn't want to pay him reoccurring character fees. Thanks for that tidbit, Larry Hankin. When we interviewed Larry Hankin, he talked about his character that he was on Friends, Mr. Heckles.
Mm-hmm.
And they only had him on for 5 episodes, and then they killed his character because if they would have brought him back for a 6th, they would have had to pay him reoccurring character fees, and his pay rate would have like doubled or tripled. And so he's like, yeah, I had my house all picked out. I was going to go buy a house and it was going to be great. And then poof, they took my house away from me. I hate the Scott's Tots episode.
Oh, that one is, yeah.
I agree. It's awful.
John and I definitely skip that one every time. It's a horrible episode.
All right. Travis says, takes me about a year after each new doctor to expect them. David T is always the doctor in my head. Yeah. David Tennant is amazing.
I think because my introduction to Doctor Who was the first episode with Christopher Eccleston, and that was when my dad was like, hey, I used to watch this show. You guys are going to love this show. And it's like, first 20 minutes of the show, and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
I'm trying to Eccleston is the tall guy with a shaved head, leather jacket.
Big ears,
yeah.
He like was
the rock star looking one that was, okay.
He was in which... Was that an Avengers movie?
He was in an Avengers movie. He was also in Heroes. He's the Invisible Man in Heroes.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah. All right. So we got a few minutes left here before we call it a night, an evening.
And we've gotten to like one of our topics.
We do need to kind of squeeze in the other two, even if it's just a quick brush against them. So the upcoming Star Wars and Marvel shows.
I am happy that it comes out May the 4th.
Right?
Yes.
I'm like, finally, they got it. Is this the first Star Wars show that comes out May 4th?
Yeah, Bad Batch is coming out May 4th, yeah. I like Peter Capaldi's doctor because he's old and grumpy like me. You are old, John. You are grumpy.
He gets older tomorrow.
Yeesh. So, yeah, Bad Batch comes out May 4th. Really very excited about that because in my mind it's just an extenuation of the Clone Wars, which I loved, which I think is a terrific animated series. How your tune has changed. It has. I will,
You're welcome.
I have
to find that video.
The long-standing fight was years ago is that I refused to watch it because I thought it was purely a kid's animation. And because I had watched the first couple episodes, and you have to agree with me whether you like the rest of the show or not. Season 1, the first 2 or 3 episodes are really campy, and they are really kid friendly.
They are.
And that, look, all of Star Wars is made for kids. It's a kid friendly, space fantasy. Let's call it what it is, and I'm okay with that. It's awesome, but I was just like, okay, this is too much for me. And Kathleen tried to convince me a couple years ago that I should watch it. I said, nay, sir, and walked away.
I think that you owe the midgeted wench a formal apology for that fight, though.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. That's a hill I will die upon. And then Nick talked to me.
Apologize to that tiny person.
That's right. I can't even look her in the eye to say sorry.
Could if you sat down.
And then, talking with Nick and his brother Josh, and they're both like, yeah, you need to get past episode 3 or 4, and then it really starts picking up and it becomes a really good series. And I'm like, okay, fine. But yeah, but I love the inclusion of the Bad Batch toward the end of the Clone Wars. I'm really excited that they're getting their own show. I'm also excited that the Rangers show is going to have more with Harrison Dula. I think she was a quality character out of Rebels. No apologies, Tim. Never.
Nobody asked you, Patrice.
You got to scream it if you're going to say that.
I would, but I don't want to scare people.
There you go. But yeah. So I'm excited. Those are the 2 out of the Star Wars upcoming shows, the animated versions of the shows. I'm stoked about Kenobi. I really want to see.
So excited about Kenobi.
I can't believe that they got both. I want to see what happens with Hayden Christensen with quality writing. I don't think he was a bad Darth Vader. I think he was doing the best he could with what he was given, and what he was given was not very good.
See, and I'm excited to see him more as Darth Vader than as Anakin.
Right.
Because, we have so little of him as Darth Vader.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why I love Rogue One, is because when he comes into Rogue One, as at the end of the movie there, he is every bit the monster that he's been portrayed to be in that 2.5, 3 minutes of cinema. Yeah, I was.
Pretty epic in Rebels as well.
Yeah.
When he's in Ahsoka there.
Yeah, it's a great episode, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, oh.
And I am excited to see him be the Darth Vader he's supposed to be.
Yes. Yeah, they're very much. I would actually love to see just a Darth Vader series, the stories of how he hunted down the Jedi, the stories of because that's one of the things I'm kind of looking forward to with the Acolyte shows, that there's never been a dark side of the Force centered storyline,
right?
Where you get to see the bad guys, for more than 30 seconds on the screen before somebody cuts them in half and throws them down a Darth Maul shaft. So I'm really kind of excited about all the things that are coming up that Disney's offering. The Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian season 3, the Ahsoka series. Rosario Dawson was a revelation. She was amazing on that show.
She was.
So yeah, I'm excited to see where Disney is taking this. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, we trust. Thank you, fellas. Really kind of
Star Wars now.
Exactly, we are Star Wars now. So yeah, but with all of this, Disney is also releasing some really cool shows on Marvel as well. So we've already talked about WandaVision. That we have. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with Loki. Is it actually going to be a show? Is it or going to be a mini series that leads into something else? And
I'm excited about the Loki show too. Like the whole premise of it is intriguing to me.
Because I want to find out. I want to know where. I haven't done any research on this. So if somebody's listening and knows what timeline, where in the timeline the Loki show falls,
I think it said the 2012 timeline.
See, and I hope so, because I want to know, there's all these theories that are floating out there that Loki isn't actually dead, that Thanos didn't actually kill him, that was one of his, projections, because he's Loki, and that he doesn't, he's not subject to such tomfoolery. I said tomfoolery. And
Pursuit of General Tom.
So,
right.
A quick Google search on that says the series takes place after Avengers Endgame, which saw Loki steal the Tesseract during the 2012 events of the Avengers, which created an alternate timeline from the main MCU films.
Okay, so in theory, he's still alive, but in a different timeline. Interesting. Okay. I'll buy that. Yeah, I'll buy that. So, but yeah, I'm interested. I'm curious to see what that's going to be like, what that's going to do. Where it kind of carries the MCU from there. Because, so starting today, there was the other show. I call it the other show. Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I don't want to get too deep into that because I know that you guys haven't watched it completely, and it's day one of it, so I don't really want to give away spoilers, and I don't want to be that guy that spoiler alert. All I will say is that I think it's a really very good show. The episode 1 is setting up some really nice backstory for both Falcon and Winter Soldier. They're adding depth to each of the characters, which I think is awesome because really all you know about Bucky Barnes is that he was Cap's best buddy. Mm-hmm. That's all you really know about him. Mm-hmm. And all you really know about the Falcon is that he was kind of Cap's right-hand man while they, I should have watched it while Kathleen was doing this.
You've already broken rules about watching things, so why not?
John, I'm pretty sure this is how you die.
So I find it interesting that all of this takes place right after Endgame.
Yes.
So like WandaVision is taking place like right after Endgame, or kind of in the middle of it. And then you got the Loki series, which is after Endgame, and
Falcon and Winter Soldier is after Endgame.
Right. So it's all. So I'm wondering how they're gonna they've all split off, and now how they're gonna come back together is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I honestly think that a lot of it will be based on the Doctor Strange 2 movie. I think that's going to tie a lot of things together. I think they're going to bring. You're going to see the next version of Avengers leap forward in the next section of the MCU. I think you're going to see the mutants come through. So we'll have X-Men because of that movie. I think you'll see the Fantastic Four be introduced in because they were kind of hinted at, in WandaVision. So I think that will give everybody an opportunity to kind of see what's going on there.
They weren't?
Fantastic Four be introduced. Say that again. Sorry.
The Fantastic Four was
hinted at in WandaVision. So in one of the boards, Jimmy Woo, Darcy, and Rambo,
Monica.
Let's just go with Monica. There we go. Are all standing at a whiteboard and they're looking at some equations and they're talking about a ship and everything. And she says, "I know someone who could do this." And the 4 is written on the board in the Fantastic Four style.
Oh,
yeah, it's really very cool. So
now I have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so there's a lot of cool things coming up for the MCU. There's a lot of cool things coming up for Star Wars. I think there's opportunity for us here to get some really quality sci-fi and superhero entertainment over the next year. And I think we mentioned this during a couple interviews, and I'm not sure if they're interviews that have aired yet or not. I think we talked about it with Ryan Airy when John was on, but I'm actually really curious to see the Black Widow movie. I think it should have been dropped a couple years ago as a nice introductory to everything, but I think that's going to be a good movie, and I think it's going to have a lot of potential. So
that was something that your daughter and I talked about today, that we're loving the more inclusion of girls in comic books.
Yeah, absolutely.
Letting them have their own movies instead of just having a
supporting role
or two.
Yeah. I think that's one of the great things about Captain Marvel. I think it's great that such a strong female lead was given a movie, and because honestly, Captain Marvel as a comic book character is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
She is. She's strong.
She is.
And I think it's cool that Wanda Maximoff is getting highlighted as much as she has, and I think it's cool that they're putting Black Widow out there. There's a lot of strong female characters in the Marvel universe that have opportunity to kind of go front and center and have people appreciate them for what they are. It's just sad that it's taken this long for somebody to go, hey, we need to make more movies with girls in them.
Yeah, I would have appreciated that as a kid. That would have been nice to allow that feeling that you're accepted in the nerddom would have been nice.
I'm sure.
But I'm glad they're at least doing it now. Better late than never.
I really got to give Miss Olsen there props on her flexibility of acting, because she went from 50s all the way up kind of thing. So like the style of acting was amazing.
Jumping in and out of accents as well. Going from that Eastern European accent to no accent to like a Valley Girl accent to a stressed out 90s girl accent. She was all over the place. And,
the most talented of the Olsens.
Yeah, that goes without saying. Although they, speaking of Dark Crystal, there's a really fun meme of the other Olsen girls. You got to look that one up. But yeah, John says, how about that Dark Phoenix, eh? We don't talk about the Dark Phoenix here because that movie is an abomination. Which is sad because, again, that should be an absolutely awesome movie. And I bought that movie when it first came out without having seen it, without having read any reviews. And there was $9 that went bye-bye. It was $14.99, wasn't it? It was $14.99. Yeah. I didn't even get it on sale.
I went to the movies to see it, so.
Facebook user says LOL. I love Facebook user. He's my favorite. Thank you, Facebook user.
See, I've never seen it. So,
as usual, the book was better. I'll believe that. But yeah, I mean, Jean Grey is another person that's almost did a spit take on the Dark Crystal joke. You're welcome.
I had to look it up.
It's a thing, and it's scarily accurate
and hilarious.
If you've got it, Nick, go ahead and throw it up on the screen.
I mean, so
this is Nate. You're my favorite, Tim. Aw, hi, Nate.
Let's see.
You need to share screen and then select the tab that you want to share, and it'll throw it out there. But yeah, it's scarily accurate how close the Olsen twins are to the Dark Crystal folks. Did you get it yet?
Gracious.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to get the exact application. There we go.
Hello, you beautiful man.
You guys gonna be okay over there?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just fine. Go ahead. Fire it up.
Yeah, I shared it. I think you got to put it up on the screen.
Oh, add to stream. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. It's a thing. It's a scary thing, but it's a thing. So.
And they were so cute when they were little.
And then that. So.
Which, I mean, I know there's some mental health issues and some anorexia and bulimia from growing up in the public eye, but
oh, sure.
Still,
I mean, look, I'm not making fun of them because they're girls. I'm making fun of them because they turned into the Dark Crystal. I have no problem making fun of men too. So, as
John is very well aware.
The last of the Gelflings. The scenes felt claustrophobic in Dark Phoenix when they should have been huge. Absolutely. Yeah, Travis, you're spot on. There was so much in that movie that should have been and I felt like they borrowed really heavily from the Fantastic Four movie with Chris Evans and the other folks in it, where there was the space storm and all that and getting their powers. I'm like, oh, they used that. That's sad. When they could have had opportunity to have such a really cool story there, because the Dark Phoenix is so ridiculously powerful, being a level 5 mutant. And anyway, Jean Grey is already a level 5 mutant, and then you add the Dark Phoenix powers and she's off the charts. So
I was gonna say, when we're gonna get the Dragon Ball Z crossover.
I'm sure there's a few folks out there that wouldn't mind that. So, but anyway, any last concluding thoughts, wishes, feelings? Let's throw one question out there. Who would be a dream interview for you guys that you would like to have on the show? Can we just get a good Galactus and finally a decent Doctor Doom? Aw, look, somebody's commenting on her own show. It's so nice to include a girl in your podcast. But back to this real quick. Can we get a good Galactus? Yeah, it'd be nice to see. I'd like to see one that's more like the comic book. I like Silver Surfer, the Silver Surfer movie with Fantastic Four. I actually thought that was a better movie than most people gave it credit for. I thought the Silver Surfer was actually played pretty well. I didn't like the fact that Galactus was just a storm moving through space. Didn't have any form or face or anything like that, not like the comic books. And a decent Doctor Doom. I'm kind of hoping that when they bring the Fantastic Four back to the MCU, that they just bring them back as the Fantastic Four and that they don't rush into a Doctor Doom story and that it's something that develops over time. I wouldn't mind seeing that in movie number 2. I don't want to see it in movie number 1 necessarily. I want to see you interview Kevin Conroy or Mark Hamill. I don't have enough time to get through the show without giggling the whole time. It's Mark Hamill. Because trust me, that's going to be a thing. But yeah, I would love to talk with Kevin Conroy. I reached out to him a couple times. I've also reached out to Mark Hamill. I don't see that one happening anytime soon. And Felicia Day. I did reach out to Felicia Day. I sent her an email and I sent her a tweet. I tweeted her. Tweet. So I'm hoping that I know that's one of your dream interviews there.
Really, really is.
So I'm hoping that she responds positively.
Me, not you, Nick.
I wouldn't mind either. So
I'm guessing it's for different reasons, but I know that you wouldn't mind either. But yeah, actually one of my dream interviews is Sam Witwer. I think Sam Witwer is an amazing voice actor. I just one time, and I've said this before in a couple other interviews, I just one time want to see him rear back and yell, Kenobi! That would, yeah, I'd be done for days right there. I wouldn't.
We had enough trouble keeping it together during the Dan Povenmire interview.
Well, it took me a good 10 minutes after he did his Doofenshmirtz intro to actually kind of get my mind back around that this is actually happening. We're talking with Dan Povenmire. Yeah. And he did Doofenshmirtz. This is awesome. This is totally a thing. So, Nick, who's one that you would really like to get on the show other than Felicia Day so you can Google her?
You know, I think if we could manage to get Catherine Tate.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, she'd be a really cool interview. So if any of you are by chance stumbled onto our podcast and would like to talk to any of us, please feel free to reach out and message us through our YouTube channel. There's an email in the contact section. We would love to talk with you. Was that
not as creepy as we seem?
That's right. Was that a nice welcoming voice? I was trying for a nice welcoming voice.
Please talk to us.
You want to be our guest.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Man chicks won't work on me. Only money.
We're not desperate. We're just lonely.
Well, it's 2021 or 2020 Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
It's March again. Still.
It's still March. It's always March in Michigan.
All right, Tim, you have 45 seconds.
Oh, yes, we do. We have eaten up an hour quite well. All right, guys.
And look at that. Nick only wanted to do like 10-15 minutes.
Well, he didn't think we could stretch it out and talk about it, but see, we did it.
Woo!
So, woohoo! All right, guys. Hey, thanks everyone for participating. Thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't already, please go to YouTube, look up Funny Science Fiction Podcast, give us a nice subscription there, comment a few of the videos, maybe just put them on play, let them go all night. That'll be fine too. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and participating. We had a lot of fun. This has been the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.